Well, look who's arrived. This is Hosta. And I'm not sure which variety it is. I think this is Hosta Lancifolia. You can't really see because of the angle right now, but look at the lush vegetation on these. Just these beautiful big leaves. And I transplanted these last year. I took them from the far side of the garden there and got them out of the sun. They were little guys like this, but connected in big clumps of clay. And I brought them over here and I put them in the shade of this Japanese maple here. And they have just taken off. There are even some behind the camera. You can't even see them, but if I pull them around, hello. Look at that, coming in beautifully. Notice the tip of that plant. Notice what it looks like, right? Looks like asparagus. That's because this is in the Asparagaceae family, classification. I don't know. I'm still working on it. But I can see it, right? You can see that it looks like asparagus. It grows in the same way that our friend Hyacinthoides hispanica grows, the woods hyacinth, right? Or wood hyacinth. I just learned too, and I didn't know this, but I just was reading online that hostas are edible. I was reading an article about edible flowers, and that to me is always a really cool thing. I actually have a couple of borage plants right over here that are growing in nicely, and that is an edible flower as well. But they said that hosta is certainly edible, and I think they said the whole plant is edible. I'm not sure, but that could really come in handy if you were at our house, because I think we could feed half the neighborhood with all of these. They love the clay. I put them in the ground and did not add anything to them like fertilizer or even compost or anything. I just put from clay into clay, and they've really grown beautifully. I did run the drip line straight through them, so right through here, through the bottom, I have the drip line, and that's supplying them with a constant source of water. But they love the shade. They can handle the shade. This spot, as the sun goes over this way, it gets mostly shaded out by the large Japanese maple back there, but they seem to be doing great. They're in pretty moist clay in the shade, and they're doing just fine. And once you notice hostas, once you actually see how pretty they are and can be, then you start seeing them everywhere. People have them everywhere. They're all in people's front yards, and of course, I think deer like them. Tender little, just last year our hosta up front sent up this long runner, like they do, this long thing, and before it started to flower, it was just this individual cluster of just like this. And I came out one morning and it was gone. Just the tip had been just nibbled right off. And so do anything you can to guard your hostas from the deer, huh? This year, I haven't seen too many deer, but we have seen some foxes. And I'm not sure foxes eat hostas. Do foxes eat hostas? Who knows? So anyway, I don't know that I want to pluck off any of these pretty flowers at all, but maybe I could just pluck off a little bud like this guy here, or maybe this one. Boink. And we'll it's not yet open, but give it a shot. Oh, very tender, very sweet. Oh, not very bitter at all. That is really tasty. I think that could be used nicely in something like a salad, if you were pulling edible things from your garden. Or what you could do is maybe make a pasta, a ribbon pasta of some kind, and with vegetables, and then take some of your herbs there, your parsley or your marjoram or your or some thyme, and put those in there, and then around the plate situate some flowers, some edible flowers. If you saw that looking at you on your plate and you knew you could eat it, how inspiring, right? Especially if you could throw a couple of these other edibles like calendula or borage. Hey, one of these days I should make a cooking video, huh? Anyway, show me your hostas. How are your hostas? So, here's that borage I was talking about. Now, I think the whole part of the plant, look how pretty that flower. I think the whole part of the plant is edible, but these flowers, these blue flowers, really, really pretty. And if I just boink, look at that. Isn't that nice? 5 points. Very sweet, cucumbery. Look, here's a flower that was about to fall off. Here's a flower that already did fall off. Get that wood chip off of there. I'm not trying to eat wood chips. I bet you could though, huh?